So I'm back at it again, at least for now. I've been pretty busy lately, so I haven't continued reading. But I thought about this book a lot, and I have the strong feeling that this book is also a part of the reason why the lineage of Solomon is cursed. They are also protected by the forces, but they are also cursed in a way, because although they were strong leaders and very wise, they also knew how to screw up big time, and this happened more than once, and all the time they had to make up for it with certain practices. And I have the strong feeling that this book is also a part of this. So, but anyway, let's continue reading. So last time we left off with the conjuration and the prayers. So now we are still at book 1, chapter 4 now. So the confession to be made by the exorcist. So here's the confession. I also posted a picture of this. O Lord of heaven and earth, before thee do I confess my sins and lament them, cast down and humbled in the presence. For I have sinned before thee by pride, avarice, and boundless desire of honors and riches, by idleness, gluttony, greed, debauchery, and drunkenness. So, and that's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. I mean, this is obviously life. Everyone screws up. But this is what I mean. This lineage knew about a lot of spiritual stuff, but in the same way they also screwed up because of ego and everything, and or getting too drunk, which is not always bad. I mean, sometimes nothing happens, but when you have power, you have responsibility. So they got punished for it many times. Okay, drunkenness. Because I have offended, because I have committed myself and where have I been now? Drunkenness. Because I have offended thee by all kinds of sins of the flesh, adulteries, and pollutions, which I have committed myself and consented that others should commit, by sacrilege, thefts, rapine, violation, and homicide, by the evil use I have made of my possessions, by my prodigality, by the sins which I have committed against hope and charity, by my evil advice, flatteries, brides, and the ill distribution which I have made of the goods of which I have been possessed, by repulsing and maltreating the poor, in the distribution which I have made of the goods committed to my charge, by afflicting those over whom I have been set in authority, by not visiting the prisoners, by depriving the dead of burial, by not receiving the poor, by neither feeding the hungry nor giving drink to the thirsty, by never keeping the Sabbath and the other feasts, by not living chastely and purely on those days, by the easy consent which I have given to those who incited me to evil deeds, by injuring instead of aiding those who demanded help from me, by refusing to give ear unto the cry of the poor, by not respecting the aged, by not keeping my word, by disobedience to my parents, by ingratitude towards those from whom I have received kindness, by indulgence in sensual pleasures, by irreverent behavior in the temple of God, by unseemly gestures therein, by entering therein without reverence, by vain and unprofitable discourse when there, by despising the sacred vessels of the temple, by turning the holy ceremonies into ridicule, by touching and eating the sacred bread with impure lips, and with profane hands, and by the neglect of my prayers and adorations. I detest also the crimes which I have committed by evil thoughts, vain and impure meditations, false, suspicious, and rash judgments, by the evil consent which I have readily given unto the advice of the wicked, by lust of impure and sensual pleasures, by my idle words, my lies and my deceit, by my false vows in various ways, and by my continual slander and calumny. I detest also the crimes which I have committed within, the treachery and discord which I have incited, my curiosity, greed, false speaking, violence, malediction, murmurs, blasphemies, vain words, insults, dissimulations, my sins against God by the transgression of the 10 commandments, by neglect of my duties and obligations, and by want of love towards God and towards my neighbor. So, furthermore, I hate the sins which I have committed in all my senses, by sight, by hearing, by taste, by smell, and by touch, in every way that human weakness can offend the Creator, by my carnal thoughts, deeds, and meditations, in which I humbly confess that I have sinned, and recognize myself as being in the sight of God the most criminal of all men. I accuse myself before thee, O God, and I adore thee with all humility. O ye holy angels, and ye children of God, in your presence I publish my sins, so that mine enemy may have no advantage over me, and may not be able to approach me at the last day, that he may not be able to say that I have concealed my sins, and that I be not then accused in the presence of the Lord, but on the contrary, that on my account there may be joy in heaven, as over the just who have confessed their sins in thy presence. O most mighty and all powerful Father, grant through thine unbounded mercy that I may both see and know all the spirits which I invoke, so that by their means I may see my will and desire accomplished by thy sovereign grandeur, and by thine ineffable and eternal glory, thou who art and who wilt be forever the pure and ineffable Father of all. The confession having been finished with great humility and with the inward feeling of the heart, the Master will recite the following prayer. So this was the confession, and after that there follows another prayer. And I must say, this confession, I think, it's very, very important. I mean, because we are humans, and for that we are not pure. We are not pure. We are not even born pure, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a natural thing, actually. This is how it's supposed to be. So how many times do we confess that we screwed up? And it happens, and it will continue happening. So, but how many times put we in an effort to conceal all this instead of just confessing, yeah, I screwed up, and so be it, and I try to do better next time. And then you screw up again, but yeah, you know what I mean, I think. Just go on with your life and confess. And accept that you also can be evil, that you have evil and impure thoughts and impure actions that you sometimes commit, and sometimes maybe you have to commit. It's by accepting that very nature which leads to freedom, I think. That's why I think this confession is a very important part of this story here. And for now, I think we can cut it here. We continue next time with a prayer. So, goodbye, my friends.